we grow primarily Kentucky bluegrass.
Yeah.
There's one called ryegrass, okay, that's perennial, it's supposed to be perennial. You can grow perennial ryegrass in Toronto.
Yeah.
You grow it in Ottawa. Dead as a doornail after the winter.
No way.
Yeah. We're too cold.
You're listening to the DORE Podcast, where we spotlight the people, ideas, and businesses keeping Ottawa running. From contractors to real estate investors, entrepreneurs to industry experts, we dive into real conversations and help grow everybody's pie.
Episode 37, Mountainview Turf.
Welcome back to the DORE Podcast. So today we're sitting down with Jared Hamilton, the co-owner of Mountainview Turf. And I believe you're sixth generation, you were saying.
No, my kids are the sixth generation.
Oh, you're okay. So you're fifth generation.
Yeah, I'm fifth generation.
Sounds good. I got confused with the fifth and the sixth.
All good. There's a lot of years there.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So Jared has built a business focusing on premium turf solutions for both residential and commercial spaces, with the emphasis on quality, sustainability, and transforming outdoor living. We'll be talking about his journey, the story behind Mountainview Turf, which I'm really looking forward to, and how turf has changed the way people think about their properties. So welcome, Jared, to the show.
Thank you very much. Really glad to be here.
I think we were just chatting before.
Yes.
Both appreciating our attire,
yes.
how we kind of look cool.
Yeah.
And I want to thank Mark Morin. I want to do a little reach out to Mark Morin for putting us in contact. Which
Mark's the best. Yeah, he's so good. Oh my goodness, his core values, everything that he does, he's one of my people. He's just awesome.
Good. Yeah. Well, as soon as we did the podcast with him, he recommended I reach out to you. So here we are. So Mark, thank you. So Jared, tell us a bit about Mountainview Turf. I mean, we were chatting just before the podcast, and clearly, I think we all agreed that we're gonna have to try to streamline, because I think we could probably do 3 podcasts in a row based on we were chatting.
Yeah.
so we'll try, out of respect for the audience, I think we'll try to hit what the big markers. Mm-hmm. So tell us about Mountainview Turf, like how, because that's family business. So tell us how that came to be.
So the short story for Mountainview Turf is that, again, family farm for as long back as it was a farm. And my parents, who were both in Manotick at the time, even though the family farm was a cottage at the time, they moved back into our area, into Quebec, Quebec, and started a sod farm, Mountainview, in 1977 with just 13 acres. And so the focus of Mountainview was always to be a sod farm. And over the past 47 years, we've grown to have sod. We have a turf maintenance division. We retail sod products like seed and fertilizer. We do a whole bunch of that. And so it really did start from simple basis where there was 150 sheep on the farm, and then just grew into this operation that now employs over 40 people during the season and supplies the entire Ottawa, Gatineau Valley 401 corridor with sod.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And that you were saying, so you're 5th generation, your kid's 6th generation. Mm-hmm. So it's always been in the family.
Always. Yeah. Always.
Wow.
Yeah. Since my great-great-grandfather was originally from Ireland, had to come over from the potato famine, and was given the lot of which 1 acre was cleared.
Okay.
And now it's all farmland, and it has been farmed for generations.
Wow. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. And you were telling me about your teenage son now taking on and so getting involved a bit. So that's 6th generation.
Not just him, actually.
Yeah,
no,
okay.
Because the 16-year-old, we have 5 kids, my wife and I. She's a saint. And the 16-year-old daughter, the oldest, she's been involved in summers. And we put my 14-year-old son in charge of our bent grass nursery, which is a specific type of turf for golf courses. So, okay. And the other kids, they help out on the farm. We have an egg farm, so they help pick eggs and everything on the weekends and everything too. So it really is all-encompassing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. And you were saying you're co-owner with your sister?
Yes, with my sister.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have a couple other businesses. My sister and I own Gemma and Mountainview, and then my wife and I have the egg farm. And
Gemma is what in relation to Mountainview?
It would be a sister company. So it's a separate corporate entity.
Sure.
But it does outdoor
services.
Yeah, it does outdoor property maintenance for government. So like NCC, NRC, museums, public works, those type of government properties. We'll do anything that involves like outdoor. So mowing, trimming, floral, waste collection, snow and ice, anything like that.
Wow. Okay, so you can keep your people going all year round.
Exactly, actually.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Now, we do a little bit of snow removal back in Queo, but it's
Yeah.
not a big market. It's a pretty small town, so
Yeah.
a lot of them come to Gemma for the winter.
Okay. Good for you. Good for you. So tell us about the importance of curb appeal and in relation to property value. What have you seen when it comes to this? The role that you play?
It's the finish.
Yeah.
Right. So I kind of like to see us, we're kind of the people behind the scenes. If you were to think of like the theater, right?
Yeah.
You have that, if you see the house as the actors,
Yep.
but you need to have someone to actually just finish the set. And that to me is what turf is. Okay. We're the final, the landscaping and the turf is that final, because if you have two properties, one can look kind of dull if it's just topsoil or fill or anything like that. But my goodness, you put in a couple of trees, you put in a flower bed,
Yep.
you put in that beautiful manicured green turf. Now your property is up 10 or 15% just from
Yeah.
looking nice. It's like hanging the curtains, right?
Yeah, no, exactly.
It's just finishing it. It's just having it ready to go.
And you cover from turf growing right up to the end and maintenance and all that.
Exactly.
With the perfect so wet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So any questions when it comes to turf?
Yeah, and everything
You'd be the guy to ask.
from
Yeah.
residential. I'll have conversations with people not knowing what to do with their front lawn, back lawn, because maybe it's not as green. Maybe they need to know advice for fertilizing and overseeding.
Yeah.
Maybe they're stripping everything and putting new sod down. I'll have conversations with school boards and city officials and municipalities about their athletic fields. Parks, anything and everything. When it comes to turf,
Yeah.
they're usually calling us because we know how to grow. We know how to grow grass.
They know where it's coming from.
Exactly. Yes.
Good
exactly.
for you.
Yep.
We also talked about the transition from paperless actually from systems to superheroes. We're talking about a superhero, like you're being a superhero, and then figuring out like the deficiencies of doing that, and then creating systems.
Yes.
So what is that process like for you?
Oh boy,
I know it's a wide covering one, but
yes,
there's
I was about to say, do you want to go into the crisis that created
let's
this,
do
or do
that,
you want to go into the paperless?
Because the one created the other one, right?
No, actually.
The crisis created the...
No, actually, the paperless came first.
So let's do that.
Okay,
then.
I'm a big... let's get things to be as automated as possible, but they have to be smart and make sense. So while I love going down the rabbit hole of new technology and new apps and everything like that, to the point where I think my team now has PTSD, where I introduce a new app or a new system or anything, I have to tread very, very, very lightly.
Yeah, that's right.
Because it's not usually the change that is really difficult. It's the transition, right? And that's true in any department, and operationally in business, anything. That it's the transition. So to transition from a full paper system. So for us on the sod farm, a paper system would be like all orders used to be in a binder with legal paper, where you'd write the name, address, what they were taking, their phone number, any information like that, and then you would be standing over it on a daily basis and going, okay, how am I going to make this fit for dispatching? And then that would go to someone else in our office, who would then enter all those into 4 different copies of invoices, organizing
like
that,
manually.
giving it manually,
Handwritten,
and then we're eventually upgrading to computers.
Yeah.
And then that was actually my parents that got that part. But even just typing out the name, the address, having it all, and then print out 4 different copies, and then giving it to the individual truck drivers, making sure it's in order of the delivery on a daily basis, right? And then getting that and making sure that it was delivered, confirming it with the truck driver and the client, then making sure that it was sent by mail, because we didn't even have email invoices. All right. Making sure that the client got a copy, making sure it was going to the right address, the right postal code, any communication. So since 2020, we completely transformed that, where it's all paperless. It's 100%. We actually piggyback off of the Amazon server.
Sure.
But it is now, you call, it's entered, it's now a digital task. That task contains every single, the email, the phone number. Someone gets, whenever the task is dispatched, so that means that the driver has the delivery on board. It goes to the person, the client's getting the text message that it's on its way, the email that's on its way. After it's been delivered, they're getting an email with a picture showing that bag of product, that pallet of sod, that bag of fertilizer that's been dropped at their door. This is where it is. If it's a contractor, it's like here. If they're not on site when we arrive, here's where we place the pallets. Now their invoice is all digital. It's emailed. There's follow up. There's the reviews. There's everything. Everything is now completely paperless.
So paperless, meaning that. So is this a custom system, or is this something that?
This is a system. I don't mind sharing. It's called Progression Live that we use. It's based at Trois Rivières in Quebec. Amazing people to deal with, but they have their system, but it's customized.
You have to customize it to you.
Exactly. Okay. So they have plugins and everything, but they really can. It's not a cookie cutter, whereas like and then you've got to modify your operation to their system. We were completely able to modify it to suit our operation.
So have you ever figured out how many less touch points are required by a human from going paper to paperless?
At least 24. I never counted it. Absolutely.
But really quickly, it's crazy.
Yeah, because you forget even the tie-ins through back-end APIs with like your email newsletter. I'm not talking about spamming people with emails. I'm talking about the day that it arrives, here's an email with a PDF attachment how to install your sod and how often to water, 3 days afterwards, answering questions that the person doesn't even know they have yet. It's like, when's the next time I'm supposed to fertilize? When am I supposed to mow my new sod?
Interesting.
So you're really complementing the operation with follow-up service, because that's essentially what we do. Is we're teachers. We're teaching people how to properly grow grass. And I know it's someone will probably resod their home once every 20 years. But it's still not something that everyone knows how to do all the time.
And I'm assuming there's it changes over the years. There may be different adaptations, different things that are recommended.
No, and I mean, you can do a Google search, but the problem is there's a difference in the sod that we have here compared to the southern states. Completely different growing conditions, completely different type of sod. You can't grow their type of grass up in our climate. There's some sod, we grow primarily Kentucky bluegrass, but there's one called ryegrass, that's perennial. It's supposed to be perennial. You can grow perennial ryegrass in Toronto. You grow it in Ottawa. Dead as a doornail after the winter.
No way.
We're too cold.
Is that interesting?
Yeah, our winter's too long and too cold.
From Toronto to Ottawa.
From Toronto to Ottawa.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. So there's it's the age of technology and information, right? But there's still so much information. You still got to narrow it down to what's good to what you have. And where you are.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously, I could appreciate if you're the client receiving this and then being, it's proactively letting them know what needs to be done.
Exactly.
And I'm assuming that's automated.
Yes.
It's a task and it just automates. Okay, it's 3 days. It goes back and it sends out the emails.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And so that's one small piece. I mean, you haven't even tied in the GPS tracking of the vehicles. You haven't tied in with digital punch clocks. There's been so much that we've done over the past 5 years that I'm sure if my team's listening to this, they're going to be overwhelmed just hearing it.
Yeah, that's fair. No, but that's fair. That's fair. Because the GPS tracking, even from, you're talking about routing and seeing where there's inefficiencies or traffic.
If we have a contractor that says, hey, I really need to know what time my sod's going to arrive on site, sure, they're getting the text message that says, hey, your delivery is on its way, but they don't know if that's 20 minutes from the last job or if it's an hour from Quio, right?
Sure.
So we can go, no problem. We can share the tracking information of the truck, so they know exactly. He's stuck in traffic on the highway. Okay, it's going to be another 20 minutes. Okay, but at least he knows.
Okay, so that accurate.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. No, that precise.
So that's a live tracking.
Updates every 6 seconds.
Interesting. That the client can see see when their delivery is expected.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's
I can appreciate that. Yeah, that must be.
Well, it's the phone calls, right? Hey, what time's he going to be here? Hey, I'm paying guys by the hour.
Waiting for the stuff to arrive.
Yeah. Is it actually arriving? Is it still coming today?
Yeah.
The day before, whenever it's dispatched, they're getting an email that confirms, that catches. Oh no, it's not going to that address anymore. No, we had to change the quantity. Sure. There's so much that it's 1,000 little things that just add up to better service.
And I'm assuming too, when it's automated this way, then there's less chances of having an error being repeated.
Exactly.
Several times somebody wrote, the wrong postal code or wrong address or wrong civic address or whichever. Next thing you know, the guys are delivering to the wrong address. And
it's like any CRM, right? So as soon as it's like someone changes their email address to where the invoice is received or the statement's received. Now all of a sudden, okay, perfect. We'll just update it, and the whole system's updated because it ties into our accounting system for QuickBooks, and that's a whole other automation with automated email invoicing and statements and being able to view when the client has seen the invoice. So it's like, no, you actually did receive the invoice. I can see see that you've seen it 6 times in the past month.
Right, because
So-
you can see when they opened it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
you can't lie.
Cash flow. So now your client is instantly get a confirmation of the product they received. They instantly get the invoice, so they can't question if it was received or not, because here's the picture that proves that it was
Yep.
delivered.
Yep.
And they're getting email reminders saying, "Hey, your invoice is still due. Hey, your invoice is still
Yep.
due." And that, it's the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
No doubt.
No
doubt.
That
listen,
improves cash flow, improves your customer experience.
Yeah, and not just that. I mean, it's the person that has to do this manually, not having to do it. It's automated, and obviously, it's that helps in every facet. So you're using the human to do stuff that a computer or just a regular task can't do.
Yes.
So there's stuff that computers can't do, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's awesome.
And even on the internal side, look at the dispatch. You have one, call it a delivery, call it a task, and the guy goes, "Hey, we just got an inch of rain. We can't do anything today." No problem. All he has to do now is just change the date, and he doesn't have to re-enter information. He doesn't have to. It's all the details. Everything is still there.
Okay.
So internally, operationally, it's making that much easier too.
At DORE, our dedicated leasing team is available 7 days a week because we understand that finding the right rental can be time sensitive. Our leasing matchmakers are here to guide you every step of the way, making your rental experience smooth and stress-free. Inquire today and rent from people who care.
Well, you said that this happened before the pandemic. Was this a result of the pandemic that pushed you into doing this?
No,
or?
this was a result of me being more in the office.
Okay.
Okay.
So it wasn't the pandemic that pushed you to have to do this.
No, I was the guy looking at the binder of 4 pages with everything written in pencil and having like 3 or 4 trucks going, okay, how are we going to do this? How is like, and you would just stand over the book and go, okay, Pembroke, Petawawa, Orleans, Aylmer Hull, and you would start to make that plan. Day
Manually.
after day,
exactly.
after day.
Interesting.
We made it work though. I don't want, what?
No. Listen,
at no point.
I come from that mindset too. I've done this before. All of what you're talking about, I get it.
Yeah.
Doing things manually, like even us in the property management business, I have binders from when we started, and it's so funny. We can appreciate the newer people come in, they just know what we do now. So for them, what we do now is just normal.
Yes.
But for us, we can appreciate all the steps.
Absolutely.
Like all the challenges and everything, we're able to take out a process and make more efficient. So I can appreciate you, whereas before in a retail store, before we used to handwrite our purchase order, like all the invoices were handwritten, and then we create purchase orders, and we essentially copy the same thing.
No,
and
exactly.
then go through a cost book and then find the cost and then have to figure out the freight and then fax it over. And then doing phone calls to do follow-ups, make sure they received it. And then they said, "No, I didn't receive it." Then you take out your confirmation of the fax went through. "Well, yes, it went through this day." Like, I get it.
Yeah.
Pagers and all that good stuff.
I just think it's very important. I'm glad we can laugh at it. I'm glad we can laugh at it. I just never want to be at the point where I'm making fun of it.
We're not making fun.
Because it was put in place for a reason.
But that's all that was available.
Oh, exactly.
There was nothing else.
We didn't know any better.
I remember one year when we implemented, we were at the retail store, we implemented a software, and the software company that came in, they come in and actually train you on site. And I remember I guess we must have been bucking, because they said to us it was like something to the effect of, you guys bought a Ferrari, and instead of jumping in and driving it, you're choosing to go in the back and push it. I'm like, ooh. So we were so used to doing things manually.
Yep.
So to go in and what you're talking about and trying to change your mindset that this is actually going to be better, more efficient, won't make mistakes, but garbage in, garbage out, right? If you enter the wrong information, information comes out.
But you had to get there.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Like we implemented this in like the spring of 2020, and for us, May and June, we'll do 40% of our annual revenue in 2 months.
In 2 months.
So to jump into new technology that you could only test so much until you finally had to, kick it down the door. It's like, okay, let's do this, and it's everything. Then all the mistakes are happening. You're trying to fix them as quickly as possible, so that nobody's quitting on you and everyone's getting frustrated.
Yeah.
Good times.
I get it.
Yeah. Good times.
I understand. We talked about resilience under crisis. You shared a story with me about the business essentially taking over every day of your life, and a challenge with family and all that. Are you able to expand on that a bit?
Yeah, absolutely. You got to go back into 2023 where inflation was starting to rise, you know, and it's only a couple of years ago, but it's still a reality, right? If you think of how business went so far one way in COVID, and then the pendulum swung the other way, where in 2020 we didn't have enough trucks, we didn't have enough, nobody did, and then in 2023 it completely swung back for us, and you had that spring of then 2024 there was, I believe, the public works strike. You had the fires. That might have been 2023. Sorry, somewhere 23. Sorry. Yeah. So in 2023, our businesses just took a complete kick. Not because we had done anything wrong, but strictly because of inflation rates, the fires that were going on, the public works strikes. So you had 25% of your population of Ottawa Hull Gatineau not working, you know, and so there was less money coming in. Nobody wanted to go outside because of the fires. So our business took a massive hit financially in 2023. Your cash flow wise sometimes comes into the following year, because you can cut expenses and everything, but a tight year is a tight year, right?
Yeah.
Fast forward to last spring, where our main harvester operator, we have one main sod harvester, and it was like a tank. It's automated for its time. It's incredible, but the thing takes 2 or 3 months to learn. So at the beginning of our season, we were faced where we didn't have an operator. Our operator, who was a good guy, he is a fantastic guy. I have nothing bad to say about him.
Yeah.
He decided to change and become an electrician.
Okay.
Unfortunately, what that meant was the only person trained how to operate the sod harvester was yours truly, was me. Tried to train somebody, didn't work out, and it just turned out that the machine was still 19 years old and was very difficult to operate because it was old. So now you have a machine that takes 2 months to learn how to operate, and it's facing challenges because it's just an old machine and there's things that aren't working right on it and everything like that. So we had no choice, but I had to be the only operator for the entire year. I tried to get a couple guys, didn't work. So day in, day out, when it's hot, when it's 30, 40 degrees, sod's a perishable product, and so you have to cut it same day. So business did pick up in 2024, but that meant there were days, I know there were a couple of days in May where I started cutting at 1 a.m. And this is not uncommon for sod farms, but if, 1 a.m, 2 a.m, weekends, evenings, I had the 14-year-old out in the evenings on Sundays running the forklift for me. He was 19 at the time. And he loved it, but but that also meant no days off. That meant that if anybody, because you're coming off a tough year, any business, it doesn't matter where you are. It's like somebody comes in and doesn't call ahead for a pile of sod. Yep, we're going to cut that, and of course we want the business. You're hungry for the business to recover, right? So it meant every time there was a phone call, it's like, if I'm in a meeting, you're not in a meeting anymore.
That's right.
There's someone. It's like if you're having lunch at home, you're not having lunch at home anymore. It meant no family vacations. It meant no family trips. It meant no weekends away. It was being stuck and trapped within your own business. It felt like being in a prison. I can remember being like 2 a.m, driving out to the field, still pitch dark, being out there myself, just turning the key off of the RTV that we had, and just setting a timer for 5 minutes and just breathing in the dark, because I was starting to develop claustrophobia of actually going in the harvester. It was that bad. Topped with the fact that in early 2024, my mom was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. Her and my dad have a home down in Nova Scotia. That's where she's from originally. They have the home on the farm, but then one in Nova Scotia as well. And she decided to do all her treatments there. I couldn't even go and see her. Ouch. Lots of phone calls, lots of FaceTimes, lots of text messages, but I couldn't go down and see her to support her. Yeah. And that absolutely broke my heart. Yeah. Yeah. Guilt. Yeah. Heavy guilt. Yeah. And so, anyway, she did come back in November, and that was the end of our sod season. So big hugs. Yeah. Literally drove the sod harvester from the field. Yeah. Into her laneway. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Because they lived close by. Yeah. And whenever she got home. Yeah. So, but what it meant for me is that I knew that there was a broken system there. Yeah. I couldn't operate our different businesses. I couldn't be a dad. I couldn't be a husband. I couldn't be a person, a human being, until I fixed this system. And so I spent the entire winter reading and researching and listening to podcasts and doing everything I could to figure out how to develop systems, because I promised my wife and kids that I would never, ever be stuck in that situation again. And while not 100% complete this year, I can proudly report that it's worked. 100%. Yeah. I have our GM and my brother-in-law, the husband of my sister, who's a great guy. Yeah. They know I have the training system. I wanted it to be a system that is run like McDonald's. Yep. That a teenager could run it. And so when you think of how a teenager learns, it's short attention spans. It's they're detailed to a fault, because things that seem to be common sense to you and I are not common sense to them, right?
Because they don't have the experience. They don't know.
No, and so what I did over the wintertime was, I developed these SOPs, these checklists, these playbooks. I mean, these are terms that are used frequently in business, right?
But let's go into that, because I think that's...
Absolutely.
Before you go into it, though, I just want to make sure that people listening in, people that, sometimes they say, entrepreneurs and they make money, whatever. What you just shared there in the last few minutes just shows the reality of owning a business and seeing it continue and having to do what you have to do to get it going. Yeah. It's not always glamorous.
No. Owning a business is the best personal development program you'll ever do.
Yeah. Because in many cases, what you just shared, a lot of people would not be able to tough that out. Right?
See, I don't like being put on that pedestal.
No, but I'm not saying it that way.
People go through what they have to go through.
No, I understand that. But what I'm saying is that sometimes it's seen as if they only see the positive sides of business.
Agreed.
Without seeing what needs to happen in order to also have the positive sides.
Yes.
Right? And what you just shared there just gave a glimpse of what that was. You shared in a few minutes, but you went through that.
Yes.
And obviously, you've got 5 kids, you've got a wife, you want to be a dad, you want to be a husband, you want to be successful. So I just want to highlight that, because it's, hats off to you, because you did what you had to do to get over that hump, and then realizing that you were in control and you can do something about it.
Yes.
Right? Yep. So I want to pitch it back to you for the standard operating. No, I just want to highlight that, because I think it's sometimes we gloss over that. But I mean, I can appreciate what you just said in a few minutes. So I just wanted to...
I find you can see it I can see it now on other, just to finish that thought curve off, I can see it now on, you can tell the entrepreneur, you can tell the business owner that has been through the ringer. Yeah. And because there's something on their face where they've been, do you follow Alex Hormozy?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, 4 stages of business. Where you start off, where you have unknowing optimism. Everything's going to be great. This is exciting. Everything's new and everything like that. Yeah. Then it follows to knowing pessimism, right? Where it's like,
I know a bit too much now, and it's not working.
This isn't fun, right? And then you have chaos and despair, which it seems to be a rite of passage. But too many people go from chaos and despair, and this isn't worth it, and then they go back into unknowing optimism. They start a new business, they start a new venture, they do something else, right? Not knowing that they're eventually going to go there again and again and again. Yep. But if you can get through the crisis and despair, now it's knowing optimism.
Exactly.
And I find so many people now that I can see that they've been through the chaos and despair, and they're on the side of knowing optimism. They know what hard looks like, but they know exactly how to get through it, and that they can't get through it.
Exactly.
And it shows on people.
Yeah.
A little on the side there.
Yeah, I know, but I think that's that's experience talking right there. But
so go back to the. I'll go back to this.
Playbooks, standard operating systems.
I started with our egg farm.
Yeah.
Because on the weekend I have some great teenagers. I think the world of them. Yeah. And they were kind of my science experiment about what works, what doesn't work. Okay, and really focusing. I mean, we have teenagers too, but so it's like, okay, experimenting, and it was so simple as using ChatGPT to create, but making sure the prompt of Chat to go, you need to write this checklist that a teenager is writing it. Then, use the wording, okay? Use the descriptions and everything. And so I would have these checklists and then followed up by a simple video and having the business have its own YouTube account and doing a whole bunch of unlisted shorts. And it's as simple as having your phone and it's like, this is what the video's about. This is how you do it. Da, 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 da. And so doing little micro things about that in the one business that of the egg farm. And then, okay, once the spring started, we got a new harvester. And I was the first one trained. My brother-in-law was trained on too, but he's on the truck. He's my field manager. He's my fleet manager. So it's spring. We're rolling. We're doing all this business because we got 40% of our business to do. Right? It's like all hands on deck. It doesn't matter the excuse. Yeah. But through the first 2 months, it's like, okay, this is how you start the machine. This is how you calibrate the machine. But in detail, like you were saying, you're supported by a video. Absolutely. And in some cases, you were even saying you're filming yourself doing it and the steps and exactly. Yeah. So and where the aha moment was when my 14-year-old he loved this and he was with me. He was my test subject for this. On the last day of summer vacation, he got in the harvester. I sat with him. He started, and as he's starting it, he's actually talking. And it's like, holy, he's actually using my words as he's talking through it about how to start the machine. And he went and cut a pallet of sod. Yeah, actually, he cut a couple of them. Yeah, isn't that cool? Yeah, I didn't touch anything. And this is a big machine. This is a $500,000 machine. This isn't just some toy. No, of course. Yeah. And so then it's like, okay, I got something here. Yeah. This is something. And then it's just so looking at the thousands and thousands of things you're doing and going, okay, if I do anything more than twice, there has to be a system for it. And to be clear, the video thing isn't the only thing. It's not one size fits all. I have different methods for different, but it's to look at that and going, okay, what is the best system that is the most suitable here? That's right. And that you can show somebody without necessarily being there to show it to them. No. And a true CEO, honestly, every day they should be spending an hour just creating a system. Yeah. Just doing something to free up their time. Yeah. Yeah. And that's how I try to approach my day. What are apart from the videos, what are that you said a checklist, a video, is there anything else that gets used? Depends on the job. Okay. Yeah, it depends on the job. It might be more descriptive. It might be a paragraph. It might be a Google Drive where, what's a good example? So, again, something simple. The machine that packs the eggs. Okay, because with 13,000 hens, we have a lot of eggs every day. Yeah. There's certain calibrations, right? Well, those calibrations that can't just be used by a video. You actually need a chart. So it's like, okay, what's a public access chart that it's easy to see, easy to access, that it's like, okay, wait, I know where this is. Right. So it's almost like an online documentary library it's not too big to overwhelm the person working there. Okay. Very, very specific. So cool. They call it a KISS method for a reason, right? Simple, stupid. Exactly. Yeah. So that is so cool. Yeah. So it's very specific. I don't want to. Yeah. It's not one size fits all. It's specific to the task, the job, and what's involved in it. Okay. And the person. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Because everybody learns different, right? Of course. Yeah. And I can appreciate that it also makes how efficient it makes it for you. Yes. Obviously, because if you're there trying to train somebody or showing somebody how to show somebody, then perhaps they're missing a critical piece of what you're expecting. And when it's you being the messenger, explaining what the objective is and going through it, and in some cases, like you're saying, actually showing them on the video is you can't get more direct than that. No, and my sister teases me all the time about being a terrible delegator, just awful. Yeah. And sometimes I'll confess, I have a tendency to overthink. I have a tendency to, it's like, oh, this is pretty complicated and I'm busy and I don't have time to do this right now. Where in fact, once you get into it, yeah, you had to learn it at some point. That's right. But you know what? I think a lot of us are like that. Oh yeah. I think a lot of us are like, we kind of hold on thinking we're the only ones that can do it. But and good for you. So many things are built out of habits. We're not going to go down the book route. No. I mean, atomic habits, tiny habits. Yeah. All these things, at some point, us doing it ourselves just became habitual. Absolutely. And we don't even stop long enough to think and go, wait, maybe I shouldn't be the one doing it. Yeah.
Investing in Ottawa real estate? DORE Property Management has 20 plus years of proven results. Call 613-227-0000 or visit dorerentals.com.
And is there another level to this? Is there another level that you're aiming to hit with these systems, or Is this that you're just continuing with this library?
Right now I have two directions with that. One is just the library.
Yeah.
One is looking at stuff that everybody does, and wintertime is a great time to doing this in our industry because it slows down.
Yeah.
But still looking at everything, you can't be reliant on one. I have some amazing people that are part of our teams, just incredible individuals. You still can't be reliant on a single person for everything because then it takes too much out, right? But then it's a matter of going to that person and going, look, you're a rock star, you're a thoroughbred, and I don't want you to go anywhere because especially for some industries, like they're personal friends.
Of course.
You know their wives, you know their kids, you know everything, right? It's like, so don't see this as a threat, but I want you to record every single thing that you do.
That's right.
And so that I'm never stuck. That's
right.
a sensitive conversation to have,
Yeah.
It's like, but it still needs to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
no, because then we become dependent and it could throw the company completely sideways.
No, that's right. And likely they're not going to do it, to be clear. Likely you taught them, so likely you'll have to do it yourself.
Yeah.
So, sorry, I didn't answer the question directly.
Yeah.
One is, yes, build out the library.
Yeah.
Keep looking at the thousands and thousands of tasks that are done by you or anybody on a daily basis and create that library. Two is I'm developing about how to teach it to others.
Yep.
And working with others. I work with I coach a couple other guys in business and that see what I'm doing, and it's like even something as simple as automating the invoicing process and doing what we've done through for the past 5 years, and it's like this is so doable. It's so easy, and let me show you how to do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That is awesome. Mm-hmm. But the critical thing I got from this is that it's tough to get the people who are doing it now to actually get on board. To get that system going, right?
Yeah.
And I can appreciate it. I mean, listen, we're all human, right?
No, that's right.
Yeah.
And not everybody is tech savvy.
Yeah.
Not everybody.
And sometimes it could be because they're like, no, hang on a second. What is this? Am I putting myself out of a job by doing this, right?
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Some people,
I can see what
you'd be surprised. It's like, okay, I want you to take your phone and record yourself talking for a minute.
Yeah.
And not even to your face, just showing.
Yeah.
They cannot do it.
Some have a hard time
doing
doing it. Yeah.
They can't. They can't do it.
Yeah, listen, I appreciate it.
And that's okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, this is awesome. A couple of things we wanted to hit on is you talked about the core values in getting contracts. And, we talked about how business was a bit stagnant right now. And sometimes, you bid against other contracts, and some people may do things that we think are immoral, or perhaps they're not, playing the game or offering the same services. And we were talking about core values at the beginning.
Yes.
So what does that look like in today's climate? Winning contracts, maintaining contracts, and sticking to your core values of wanting to provide the right service and be upfront with people. And
that's a deep dive.
Yeah, well, let's do the deep dive. Yeah.
I think on an everyday basis, we all face choices of doing. I don't think it's the right thing and the wrong thing. I think it's more of the lesser of the two evils. It's like, okay, I can go all out and fix this problem or provide this service, or I can lean back a little bit because I need to maintain my net profit and my profit margin, and I have. I got a business that has to survive and everything like that. Mm-hmm. I see, especially in tight markets where there's not a lot of business to be had, I see that there's the choice to do call it the lesser of the job. That's not good English, but that's just, it's like the bare minimum. Bare minimum, or deception is the name of the game. And I don't know if it's the core values of the way I was raised. I don't know what it is, but I refuse to go down. And I'm not that old. I'm old enough, but I'm not that old. But I've already seen where things that you did 20 years ago that was the right thing to do for the right reason, even though you could probably get away with it.
Yep.
That's now paying you back spades. And it pays you back from that customer, knowing who you are, what you stand for, and knowing that even if they're in trouble and maybe they made the wrong choice, the right choice for the wrong reasons of going with a cheaper company, a cheaper contractor, a cheaper whatever, it's eventually going to come back. The pendulum's going to swing, and they're going to know that they're going to call you to fix it.
Yeah.
And
fair enough.
Sometimes it's hard because the cost of fixing sometimes isn't there to get the job.
Yeah.
Even though it's the right price to do the job right, they didn't go your way, it, it's going to come back.
Yeah.
Karma is going to come back every single time. And if you want to be in business for a long time, just make the right choices
Yeah.
because you feel it's how you present yourself. You ever
Yeah.
go to the gym?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? You ever
Yeah.
how do you feel showing up the next day to your team and to where you are going to the gym that morning?
Sore everywhere. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, same. You stand up a little bit better, how you speak is a little bit better, you know, you're standing a little straighter, your team notices it, how you speak on the phone changes.
Yep.
You do the right thing over a long period of time, it's the exact same thing.
Yep.
You do the wrong thing over a long period of time,
Yep.
your team's looking at you a little different. They're talking about you more behind your back. You know, your clients, you develop a reputation that it doesn't matter how many good things now. It's like, do the right things at the right time for the right reason.
Yeah.
It's as simple as
Yeah,
that.
no, stick to your core values.
Yeah.
About treating people right, doing the right thing, and sometimes it costs business to do that.
And that's tough.
Yeah, I know. Honest, I know.
But swallow.
I know.
Yeah. You know,
We know.
especially in a tight economy where you want the business, you just want the business to keep the wheels moving, to keep
Yeah.
everybody engaged, everybody busy and everything, because boy, does gossip and rumor and ill content for a team ever happen whenever there's not a lot of business happening.
Yeah,
when things are
absolutely.
slow, everyone's looking over their shoulder, everyone's looking at what everyone else is doing. You're busy, everyone's busy.
Yeah.
Everyone's good to go, but that slows down a little bit, you see it a little bit, but don't fall into the trap.
But it's always, I guess, sometimes the idea of just being an example.
Yep.
Just be the example, and it, you know. But hats off to you, because a lot of people wouldn't conduct business the way you are. They would cut corners, they would do whatever that needs to do, but then that, as you mentioned, that catches up to you.
Exactly.
Right? So hats off to you for thinking like that.
It's not easy.
So yeah, no.
It's not easy. Like
Good
I
for
said,
stuff.
you're faced with those decisions every day.
Yeah, no. And then you'll be judged by the way you react.
Exactly. Always make yourself proud.
Yeah, no, good for you. Yeah, exactly. That's a good. What is that saying about, you know, it's what you do when nobody's watching?
Amen. Yeah, that's not true.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things that I find interesting about, you know, your sixth generation business is, you know, when you're in a family business, what are the pros and cons of the other family business and leadership, and how do you?
Oh, there's so many things that play in. It is so tough.
Yeah.
It is so tough because you have a business partners and people that you deal with that so when you inherit a business, it's one thing, because you're inheriting so many of those personalities and sacred cows that, you know, people that do things just because they've always done it that way.
Yep.
And, you know, you didn't really pick your team was picked before you kind of took over.
Yep.
So that's one thing. And then there's the actual interaction with siblings or family or anything like that, right? My sister and I, we did not like each other growing up. I'll use us as the example, right?
Yeah.
We did not like each other growing up, and we literally right now live across the road from each other. My house, which is the original Heritage family home, is 100 feet from the office, and my sister is right across the road.
Okay.
And so we both own 2 companies together, plus some real estate. She has her own business with my brother-in-law with the greenhouse. I have the side business with my wife for the egg farm. So it's actually good perspective that she has her own business, I have my own business. Yep. But and then all of a sudden, many years ago, we came together and it's like, oh, I guess we're both running this company now. What really helped us was understanding any personality assessment that you do, the color code, the DISC personality assessment.
Yeah. Okay.
So now
you guys did that.
Oh yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was
Interesting.
And the love language. Okay. So now all of a sudden with that, you're learning. Okay, you know what? I'm not good for conflict.
Yeah.
I'm not good for organization. But boy, are you ever good? So I'll get to the point where it's like, Lynn's, my sister.
Yeah.
Can you handle this for me?
Yeah.
Right. I'm more of a calm and patient. I'm more of a stoic person, right? So when things need to just calm the waters a little bit, I'll grab that a little bit, right? I'm more of a numbers guy. She's not as much. She's still very good at numbers, but you know, we know that about each other. So once we kind of understood together, it's like, look at. You know, this is just your innate personality, and I'm no longer going to take offense to that because that's the way you operate, and we're going to learn how to operate within each other's strengths and weaknesses. That changed it all for us.
Okay.
To be clear, we still drive each other nuts.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah,
absolutely.
And there's some pros and cons.
Yeah,
right.
But we still show up with complete trust.
Right.
You know, and we make mistakes, mostly me.
Yeah.
We recorded that.
night, just so you know.
Yeah, no. Trust me. Many mistakes.
Yeah.
But it's just know each other's innate personality. And then it's like, we learned what our parents' innate personality was. So we know how to interact with them in business. It makes it tough around the dinner table at Christmas and Easter because it's kind of like, so how's work going?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, we saw each other.
You haven't finished your job.
Yeah, it's like, we know, what did you do on the weekend? Oh, wait, I know exactly what you did. So there's not a lot of separation there for us, at least.
Yeah.
But that was one of the biggest. It's one thing to take the assessment, and know who each other. It's one thing to accept it and be able to now go together and go, okay, we're going to work together with these strengths and weaknesses.
Right.
It's taking that next step about knowing it and now implementing it.
Yeah. And that's good because obviously I've also been in environments where when it comes to family, everybody's at each other's throat and it's very destructive.
Yes.
So to be able to recognize it and go through the DISC assessment and understanding love languages and all that good stuff, I think brings a lot of peace to this type of environment. So kudos for you guys for doing that. Yeah.
Forgiveness plays a big factor.
Yeah, of course.
We're human beings.
Yep.
And again, I'll use myself as example. There's sometimes I love the pendulum because the pendulum swings, right? And you can only know where the center of the pendulum is usually by going too far one way or too far the other.
Right.
So there's been times when I've gone outside of my role, and you know what? And there's definitely been a frank conversation about it. But I know my sister does frank conversations. That's the way. She's the lion. I'm the golden retriever. Okay. I'm like Doug from the movie Up. Okay. As after it's all over, as long as you tell me that you love me, we're good.
We're good.
Whereas my sister, it's like, what are you talking? We had this conversation. It's over. Move on. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So but I need to be forgiven, and I need to forgive her whenever we go outside of our boundaries.
Yeah. Good for you, and good to recognize that.
Oh,
it sounds like a healthy relationship to have.
Oh, healthy is such a strong term, but let's just say still the younger sister, right? Still got to give her the gears.
Yeah, of course. So, hey, Jared, this is a fun chat.
Oh,
I'm really glad that you came on and that Mark recommended that you come and meet with us. Thank you.
Him. No, I was so glad to be here. Let's do it again. I have a gift for your listeners, if that's okay.
Sure, let's do it.
So because I've gone through the crisis myself, and I do sincerely want to help others, I started a journey last year on LinkedIn, where I started posting on LinkedIn every single day. And now I've put that through to Instagram and Facebook, and I just love hearing from people who love their business but feel trapped by it. And I want to help those with it. So I do actually have an assessment that if you look me up on LinkedIn, just my name, on Instagram,
so
Jared Hamilton. Yeah, you'll see my ugly mug. Yeah. If you look me up on Instagram, you'll see Jared W. Hamilton.
Yep.
Message me the word, let's pick one, freedom.
Yep.
And I actually have an assessment that can go, okay, you are truly owned by your business. You are too much in the weeds, and it's costing you your life. Okay.
Interesting.
As well, if anybody's interested, first 3 people get an hour coaching. Just a conversation.
Sure.
Yeah. If
from somebody with experience.
From somebody with experience. No agenda, no catch. Just sincerely, I never want to have somebody in the same sitting where I was last year. And if I can avoid that, it's worth it.
Use that to help others.
Exactly.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. My hat's off to you, Jared. I think that's awesome to hear that you're taking that lived experience and trying to help others with people who may be in similar situations but they may not know what to do. So
that's why we're here, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, Jared, thank you for joining us today and sharing your story with Mountainview Turf.
Thank you.
And everything, and we look forward to seeing where this is going too. And I think you're making a big impact, and I get the sense this is just going to get bigger. So good for you. And for anyone listening out, if you want to reach out to Jared, I think he just mentioned you can reach out. I guess the best way is through LinkedIn. Is that what you prefer? Or?
Yeah, LinkedIn is probably the best. Not everybody's on LinkedIn.
No, fair enough. Right. And if not, I think you have. The website is mountainviewturf.com.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Just look up Mountainview Turf, and you'll see exactly where we live, and email and all the contact info there.
Okay, great. That's good. And of course, for everybody listening in, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you never miss another episode of the DORE Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the DORE Podcast. If you're an entrepreneur or investor focused on real estate in Ottawa, we want to hear from you. Apply to be a guest and check out our video content anytime on YouTube.